Episode 4 of Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You continues, proving that this series does not need dramatic confessions or huge romantic twists to keep viewers invested. Instead, it builds its relationship through everyday conversations, awkward misunderstandings, and small moments that reveal how much Sasaki and Tayama have slowly become part of each other's daily lives. By the ending, nothing has officially changed between them, yet their bond feels noticeably stronger than before. The episode begins with something incredibly ordinary. Suzuki tells Sasaki it is finally time to buy a smartphone. Like many people who have grown comfortable with older technology, Sasaki insists his flip phone still works perfectly well. Almost immediately, fate proves him wrong when the phone finally breaks. This simple setup leads to one of the episode's funniest storylines. Sasaki enters the world of smartphones completely overwhelmed. Every feature feels confusing. He worries about accidentally downloading viruses. He cannot even perform simple tasks without creating new problems. At one point, he accidentally activates the camera and takes a photograph of himself while sitting on the train, attracting everyone's attention because of the unexpected sound. The comedy works because Sasaki never feels foolish. Instead, the series treats him as someone sincerely trying to adapt to technology that changed faster than he did. Knowing he cannot figure everything out alone, Sasaki asks Tayama for help. This becomes one of the sweetest sections of the episode. Tayama initially believes she only needs to explain a few basic functions. Instead, every lesson reveals another concept Sasaki has never learned before. To explain one feature, she first has to explain something even more fundamental. Then something before that. Eventually, she ends up installing his newspaper application herself, because starting from the beginning proves easier than trying to explain every step individually. Although much of this sequence is played for laughs, it quietly reveals another side of their relationship. Tayama never becomes impatient. She teases Sasaki as always, but she also spends considerable time helping him without expecting anything in return. That patience shows how naturally she has accepted caring for him. Meanwhile, Sasaki demonstrates complete trust in Tayama. He never worries about appearing embarrassed or inexperienced around her. Instead, he openly admits everything he does not understand. That level of honesty shows how comfortable they have become together. The lesson ends with one particularly meaningful moment. After adjusting the applications, Sasaki asks Tayama to increase the font size because smaller text is difficult for him to read. She agrees, but gently reminds him not to stop wearing his glasses. Without him noticing, she secretly photographs him looking embarrassed while wearing them. The following day, viewers see Yamada quietly looking at the picture again before smiling. This small scene carries much more emotional significance than it first appears. Since Tayama and Yamada are the same person, the photograph becomes a private memory she treasures. Rather than laughing at Sasaki, she is smiling because she genuinely finds his awkwardness adorable. It is another quiet reminder that her feelings continue growing stronger. The episode's second major misunderstanding begins when Suzuki introduces Sasaki to an online personality test claiming to reveal hidden truths based on someone's favorite cigarette. Believing younger people enjoy these kinds of quizzes, Sasaki eagerly suggests trying it together with Tayama. Tayama immediately realizes what kind of internet quiz it actually is. She attempts to warn him, but Sasaki is too excited to notice. Predictably, the results quickly become filled with romantic and suggestive jokes. While Tayama casually laughs them off, Sasaki becomes completely mortified. He immediately kneels and apologizes, convinced he has behaved inappropriately. Once again, the humor comes from Sasaki's sincere innocence. He never intended to embarrass Tayama. He simply misunderstood the situation. The conversation then takes another unexpected turn. Sasaki tells Tayama he agrees with one part of her personality description. She is two-faced. For just a brief moment, Tayama completely freezes. She believes Sasaki has finally discovered her biggest secret. Since she lives two different identities as cheerful Yamada during work and relaxed Tayama during their smoking breaks, this possibility terrifies her. Instead, Sasaki explains something entirely different. He believes Tayama pretends to act distant even though she is actually an incredibly kind person underneath. His words immediately destroy the tension. Rather than exposing her secret, he accidentally compliments her. Still embarrassed by everything that happened, Tayama stuffs the cigarette into Sasaki's mouth and tells him to stop talking. It is a funny reaction, but it also shows she has no idea how to respond whenever Sasaki unintentionally says something genuinely heartfelt. The awkwardness continues into the following day. Sasaki cannot bring himself to look Yamada in the eyes because he still feels guilty for upsetting Tayama. Meanwhile, Yamada also avoids looking directly at him. Neither realizes they are both reacting to the exact same conversation while believing the other person has no connection to it. This ongoing misunderstanding remains one of the series' most charming running jokes. The final storyline begins after Sasaki notices the weather becoming much warmer. When he returns to the supermarket, he sees Yamada wearing her summer uniform for the first time. His reaction immediately gives away his true feelings. He quietly thinks she looks beautiful. The sight embarrasses him so much that he quickly leaves without saying much at all. Naturally, Tayama hears about it during their next smoking break. She immediately begins teasing him. After enough pressure, Sasaki admits he really does think short sleeves suit Yamada. At this point, Tayama decides to test him. She removes her jacket, revealing her cropped top. Most romantic stories would expect the male lead to become flustered by seeing more skin. Sasaki reacts in the exact opposite way. Instead of staring at her appearance, his first concern is whether she feels cold. He immediately offers her his own blazer. This moment perfectly captures why Sasaki is such a lovable protagonist. He never sees women as objects to admire. His first instinct is always to care for someone else's comfort. Ironically, that kindness completely ruins the romantic moment Tayama hoped to create. Rather than noticing her stomach, he worries about her health. Frustrated, she calls him an arm man. The joke is surprisingly meaningful. Earlier, Sasaki admitted he found Yamada's short-sleeved look attractive. Now Tayama concludes that perhaps he simply likes seeing arms rather than noticing anything else. Sasaki remains completely unaware of why she has become annoyed. The episode ends with Yamada thinking about the situation after returning home. She remembers that Sasaki complimented her arms, but showed absolutely no reaction to her exposed stomach. Her thoughts reveal something important. She wanted Sasaki to notice her. Not because she wanted attention from just anyone, but because his opinion has started carrying genuine emotional weight. That realization quietly confirms how much she cares about him. The ending is not really about whether Sasaki prefers arms over anything else. Instead, it highlights the unusual way their relationship continues developing. Traditional romantic stories often rely on dramatic confessions or misunderstandings created by jealousy. Smoking behind the supermarket with you takes a completely different approach. Every episode allows Sasaki and Tayama to grow closer through everyday interactions. Teaching someone how to use a smartphone, sharing silly internet quizzes, talking about uniforms, offering a jacket. Each moment appears insignificant on its own. Together, they slowly build trust, affection, and emotional intimacy. Episode 4 succeeds because it reminds viewers that romance is often found in the smallest gestures. Sasaki never tries to impress Tayama, and Tayama never forces herself to become someone she is not. Instead, their feelings continue growing through kindness, patience, teasing, and genuine concern for one another. While Sasaki remains completely unaware that Yamada and Tayama are the same person, every interaction brings them emotionally closer. By the end of the episode, Tayama realizes she wants Sasaki to notice her as a woman, while Sasaki unknowingly continues proving that his greatest attraction is not appearance at all, but the person standing in front of him.